stage, that is like an open air or something, and you're playing to the gods, and to the stars,
or even playing to people who have never seen you before. You see, I think you're right that any stage performance now of an ordinary sort visually will never be topped, because we all remember, and you better than I.
Okay, so what's the use of an audience?
Right,
the use of an audience is like for out of sheer charity to play to them because you love them, or for you to collect ticket money, or for to get a reaction between you for the sake of your show.
Yes.
But look, the thing is then, that's presuming that we're not enough for a show.
Yeah,
that
so
does
that's
presuppose
very bad,
that there's not
very
enough
bad
in the four of us. You've really got to pan off onto a postman.
The whole point about
In a way,
surely,
it suggests
to give you something when you're performing.
It's good and bad.
Right, yes, good, okay.
But also, once you get up on a stage, I think once you get up...
Well, the whole point about an audience, surely, is to give you something.
Like an actor on stage.
Bounce back,
It's a different audience.
But it'd just be all luck to get a lot of cunts in there all day.
But equally, once you get on a stage, you are performers. And you've got to have someone to do it to, of some sort, either the camera or real people, I think.
Well, empty chairs would be much more dramatic. 20,000 empty chairs.
Looks like they haven't bought any tickets.
No, but what's
look,
ideal
the thing is, no one's going to sort of think that, like. No one's going to think they haven't bought any tickets.
No.
It'll just be they've done it to 20,000
And also,
chairs.
people are wondering what kind of audience you have now, And it should be like invisible, nameless, everybody in the world, instead of some teenager or something. And they say, so they still have this kind of teenage audience. Or if you have costume people, you say, those are the audience now. It's very dangerous, Like now you have audience in every heart in the world, you see. So it's very bad to limit it.
Yeah, but it's like that small bandstand in Hyde Park, that Regency bandstand, empty.
Right, yeah.
It's like that, it stands there every week and it's super. That empty bandstand, a little one when we went to do a bit on the Great Race. Knock out that whole thing, empty.
In Hyde Park.
Empty.
Yes, I saw someone playing there once.
Yeah.
That sounds, I think it's a very good idea. That sounds to me more, though, like 5 minutes rather than 50 minutes. I think it's a very interesting, because you're quite right, it is all, what we want to do at TAC is all over the world. It oughtn't to be any more just the kids who queue up outside the gate. It really ought to be the whole world.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things we tried to get on Jude, that we tried to get all.
Hey, look,
everybody.
we're doing 2 shows, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're doing 2 anyway, aren't we? We're taping the shows like on the Sunday and the Monday or something.
Yeah.
So you could.
So we could. Yes. It splits the idea a bit. It means that we're going to do half of 2 ideas.
I think it'd be better if in the end we arrive. I think in the end it'd be better if we arrive at one idea.
Theoretically, of just doing one idea. It's like you
right.
choosing one photograph and going with that one.
Right.
Yeah, or else we just. But we are doing 2 shows. And the one idea could be to play one night to silence, and the next night to those chairs filled.
But you see, then partly the documentary is playing in silence. I know it's not for an audience, but it's going to be the same thing.
But I think
but we haven't just played. We haven't. We've any number we've done at the moment. We've tried, if we noticed the camera on us, to ignore it.
Yes.
The performance.
See, also, in a
might
funny
be
way,
it should be like 2 cameras or 2 audience or 2 something.
Yeah.
But the people who are watching the TV doesn't want to see an audience unless the audience is terribly different.
That's what I mean.
Everybody's
but I think the audience could be different.
Formal, where queens
Also,
and kings coming to see it.
The only negative thought I
That's
have.
true. They're not switching on to see the audience.
Right.
No, but they're switching on to see the Beatles, certainly, but they're switching on to see either what the show is or how you react to this. I think your ideas are very good, but what I think is that if you got up in front of an empty house and played, it makes you look too rich, in the bad sense. In other words, what's the point? This is the negative aspect of that. What's the point of you getting up and playing for an empty house when you could be giving people happiness with a full house, whatever kind of full house we
nobody's going to think that. They're going to think it's a very poetic situation, and they know that the Beatles are
I think
rich,
if you get
and
rid of
we
an
can't
audience...
do
Yes, but I meant the bad side of rich.
then there's no point in doing a live performance. It's like going into a recording studio and doing
But I
one
think we
take.
should have given
Unless
some
it's
kind
because of the
audience.
backgrounds, George, you see. Unless it's now we're going right the whole circle back to.
But the audience is definitely going to give you something to your performance,
Zabratha,
which you wouldn't get otherwise.
No, but you're going right back to Zabratha, because what he's saying is right. Unless it's the background.
I also think that that an audience being used visually in the show isn't a bad thing, because I think people are very interested in seeing how an audience would react to you, although they've seen it before. But I mean, now, yes, really, I think it's.
Then it should be a really real scene. In other words,
Yes,
you know,
but that
you
was the
have
whole
to
reason
announce
I
in the
did it.
newspaper
It's
saying that
very
it's
live
going to
to
be
an
a real alive show.
I think that'll happen anyway.
For you know, the Beatles,
Yeah.
and then the thing is, it'll be a crazy scene, like everybody queuing for it and everything. And
Because what
Albert
you're
Hall
Yes, I
might
think
be
saying it
that'll-
should be an Albert Hall scene then, if it's
Yeah,
that.
right. Then it
Exactly,
should
I
be
feel
Albert
that
Hall.
too.
Yes, I'm not against Albert Hall. I just think
The
it
scene.
slightly smells of a few years ago. Of, I mean, you know, the Shea Stadium. There's wherever there has been.
All right, say anything, and it will slightly smell like either a few years ago or less than a few years ago, because they topped it. You know, they topped
Exactly,
it all
unless
in
it
Shea
was
Stadium.
a location.
Yeah, that is so strange.
I'm not particularly supporting this idea, but it is an idea that we can then say no to and go away from if we can top it. But it is a location which is marvelous in itself by the sea. With
But
a
look,
kind
that
of a-
has to be in England. An outdoor scene has to be in England, because
Got to be very cold.
we've decided we're not going abroad.
I don't think it's practical to do it in England. It's too bloody.
Right, that's what I think.
Yeah.
But we have decided as a
Yeah.
definite decision
Well, then
that we're not going abroad, so we should
Yeah.
sort of rule that out.
Yeah. I mean,
You know, like we did. I mean, it's not even to the two-way. Oh, should we go abroad? We did. We definitely said no to that,
Literally in your back garden.
Riverboat Shuffle.
which would be
Garden
much
is
too
not-
freezing on your hands.
The back garden also looks like a little promotional film you've
in
made.
your house.
You don't mind. It's too. It's
do it in
the
my
weather's
place.
against you know. You just.
But also, just the back garden looks like a little promo film we've all
Yeah.
shot, as opposed to
Yeah.
a Beatles television show.
Yeah.
So we do it in the other studio.
Nice
huh?
back garden.
with or
You
without.
know what I mean? It
audience?
looks like we set up a camera and it's a little promo.
Yeah.
film.
See, I think the thing is though. Okay, so we're all, you know, prepared to do it with an audience. But what Yoko says right, you know, that you can't just have the same old audience
She's
or,
totally
or the
right.
same old scene
Totally.
so much. It's not even the same old. If it was the same old audience and we were all naked when they came in, then that'd be a different scene, you know.
I think she's totally right about that. I mean, that's
Yeah,
one of my
it's
big
drag. I
points.
mean, what can you do that's new with them? You see different faces. You've seen the postman. We've seen the turban. It's
So
a
no, we
drag,
shouldn't
you
really
know.
try to do anything with the audience,
Yeah, I think
because the audience is the audience. You know,
We
it's
should only
them,
use
and they've come in.
just the
It's us
audience
that's doing the show. You know.
Yeah.
Then we
Well,
ought
you'd
to
never
get,
get that together. You know, that would be like half-assed idea.
or totally ask. But
It'd be nice though.
I
wouldn't
think the thing is, then
Not really, you know.
then we've got to find.
Unless it really worked, it would be frustrating.
Because if I were in New York and if I watched Hey Jude, that program, TV, you know, I would think my interpretation would be that those people around them who were sort of climbing up and starting to sing with them and all that were just hired people, you know. If I think that, then it's okay. But if I thought that they were true audience, you know, then I think, oh, so now people don't think of Beatles as too much, you know, because all the image that everybody in the world has about Beatles is that once if there's an audience, they're going to be frantic and pulling their clothes and tearing it away and all that, you know.
that we can completely create another image. Create and preserve the image of your choice.
Yes.
So if we can just think of an image how we'd like to be, and then we make it that one, which could be, you know, anything. We could just be like a nightclub act, or you know, anything. Just the smoochy low lights and about 10 people.
No, then you're a little cabaret act.
Yeah,
I think you should just do it with a large audience and not film them particularly, but use them as a sounding board. and-
Oh yeah, that's all. I mean, I was never going to shoot the audience particularly. It's just I think it's easier to work to an audience because they give you. It's like actors on stage. They give you this.
See,
different.
that's why I thought like a ballroom. You know, if we did go right round the circle and did it purely like a dance. You know, like come to the Tower Ballroom. There's a dance on. You know, oh, incidentally, that we'll be the band there. You know, and then we go on and we play all the numbers and we play it like we play a dance without trying to
You
sort of
literally do
announce
dance with
anything,
Pally.
and just, you know, there's a fast one, there's a slow one, and everyone like dances. And there's, you know, there might be a fight, or there might be the kind of things that happened at dances, you know, or it might be a very sedate, quiet dance, and there might be. But just that idea,
See, but
I don't know.
The essence of your ideas is simple, I think. I mean, what you're asking for is a really, really simple approach, which I think is right. But I'm not sure just have an audience dance around you is good that way. I mean, I don't think you are just the local band. I mean, they just
Well, that's the
they wouldn't
trouble
behave
now.
that
Yeah,
way.
that's the trouble. They wouldn't just.
It's like the only time on TV it didn't work for you is when you went on doing Paperback Ride on Top of the Pops when they did Just Dance. Do you remember that? And they really didn't do very much, and that would look so crazy. I mean, it looked crazy for 4 minutes, but it would look a lunatic for long. I mean, it would have been the bad way. I mean, they really looked because it was so sedate,
No, it would be
and
marvellous
you
if it
all were
worked
rather
the way
sedate
Paul's saying,
that
it could
day.
never work the way he's saying because of what you are now.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
really
that's the trouble.
yeah.
You see, what he's at the essence of his idea is the simplest approach possible, which is the right, which the
Yeah.
essence is correct. Totally,
Yeah.
that's totally what I believe.
Yeah.
But that you're just not the local dance band.
Yeah.
Would that you were, but you're not. But you're just not. So that's going to be very hard to
We can
achieve.
discover or something.
Exactly. I was thinking I could
Just
put you
got
onto
Barry
someone.
Lime and all
Oh yes, and then tails and a zither. See, but it's
See, that's it. For anything then like that, we're going to have to artificially create and a thing. Then, I mean, we are anyway in a film studio talking about building around. You know, so we're going to build something so that we shouldn't just try and build something like the Tower Ballroom, because we could go to the Tower Ballroom.
Yeah.
And we could
yes, that
just
was
put
that
on
was
a
one of
dance,
the
you
one of
know.
the reasons we started veering off on these ideas was when we were looking at locations that Friday after Christmas.
Yeah, because
And that all the locations look like 4 steps up from boutique. You know what I mean? Like 4 years ago, everybody was shooting in a boutique. Now it's a disused sawmill or whatever it is. They just looked plastic, real locations. They looked like you're going to go to a location because it looked because it looked.
It's just so fun. You know, just think of it in terms of somebody else. You know, like say Richard Burton. Okay, he was playing in a regular theater, right? And the thing is, now if he wants to revive that situation, he has to have a fixed audience. We don't want to see Richard Burton, you know, sort of performing on a stage with a fixed audience. No matter what kind of audience, it's going to look crummy. But the thing is that what he is a legend, you know. So that seeing him in his own private boat, or you know, or just seeing him shaving or something, even is much more dignified than seeing him perform to a fixed audience. Do you see that point?
Perhaps we should do
That's
it-
why it's better to show you in, you know, your private home or George or something. All this is much better than fixed audience, you know.
Perhaps we should do a different sort of audience. Perhaps we should do it in the Royal Academy or the Tate Gallery.
That makes much more sense, maybe.
With nobody there
Or
except the
ICA
pictures.
or something.
But I think once you get up to perform as the Beatles, you've got to be performing someone, even if it's going to be this different kind of audience, because
But you don't use human beings as audience. What do you replace them with, apart from animals? I mean,
well, nothing that would sustain for an hour. I don't
Dogs.
think. Or
I
people.
don't know.
Men from the Moon. You could do from Men from the Moon.
no, but that's too.
No, but
Too hard to-
also, Michael, it's
Even you couldn't.
Michael,
Even you could.
Michael, you've got to remember that the audience that they're doing it for is sitting at home.
Drop a
watching
lot of
the television too. That's the audience. don't
Right,
forget.
right, exactly.
Yes, they will be.
Well,
Oh yeah, there's several
No.
now.
yeah. I mean, certainly yes. I mean, there is certainly you just play straight out home. But
Marvellous.
I have a feeling that's not big enough.
It's big, though. I mean, to see a private home of Paul McCartney or George
But we could
Harrison.
fit that in
It
the
is a bit
documentary.
like the Bridget thing, though. I know it didn't turn out nothing like it, but did you see that? And she takes the audience down to San Tropez
Yeah,
and
yeah.
sings a tune over her front gate. You know, and walking around the pool.
Also, we can get those things in the documentary. We can incorporate anything like that in the documentary. It's just
Into record.
You're not running yet, are you?
if you just get up as to perform, you've either got to be performing directly to the people at home or to an audience.
Yeah.
I think there's only two ways. But I mean, maybe it would work to the people at home. I don't think it's quite enough scope. I mean, I think the idea is good because we have to think about the audience, because you are so riddled with audience. I mean, the audience is so much part of the first half of you musically, says the critic from The Guardian. You know what I mean? The audience is so much part of the whole mystique.